Hey guys, it's Rachel from Hope Corner Farm. By day, I'm a home ec teacher who teaches hundreds of students how to crochet, quilt, sew, and cook. And today I'm going to teach you how to complete the even moss stitch in crochet. This even moss stitch gives this lovely textured detail to your crochet projects. The nice thing about this stitch is both sides look the same, so there's not really a right or a wrong side to this crochet stitch. It would make a beautiful blanket detail, throw pillow, even on a headband or a hat. This stitch would look great with a lot of different projects. So whatever you're choosing to make, let's grab a hook and some yarn and we'll get crocheting. Before we get started, make sure you subscribe to my channel, hit the bell so you get notifications of when I post new videos, and don't forget to give me some feedback on this video. Give me a like or a comment, let me know what I did well or things that I could improve upon. So for the even moss stitch, you have to start with an even number of chains. So I'm going to place a slip knot on my hook here, and I'm going to start by chaining 8. Now if you need to see how to slip knot and or chain in slower, more detailed movements, I'm going to include a link to a video below that takes this stitch a lot slower and in more detail. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to go 7, 8 chains. So we're going to start with an even number of chains. I'm choosing to start with 8 just for this demonstration. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to work into the second chain from the hook. So I'm not going into this space, I'm going into this space right here. So I like to put my thumb and my middle finger here and kind of hold my place so I know exactly where I'm going. So I'm going to take my hook and I'm going to place a slip stitch in the second chain from the hook. So I'm going to take my hook and I'm going to insert it here. Now each chain kind of has 3 legs or 3 parts to it, 1, 2, and 3. So 1, 2, 3. My preference when I insert my hook into the chain is I like to put 2 legs of that chain on top and then 1 on the bottom. Some people like to just put 1 leg on top and 2 on the bottom. It really is a personal preference, but when I do it, I tend to like to put 2 chains on, or 2 legs of that chain on top. So I've inserted my hook. So to slip stitch, I'm going to yarn over, pull through the stitch, pull through the loop on my hook, and that completes the slip stitch. Now if you need to see how to slip stitch or half double crochet, which is our next stitch, in slower, more detailed movements, I'm going to include a link to videos for those below as well that take those a lot slower. So in the next chain, I'm going to place a half double crochet. So I'm going to start by yarning over. I'm going to go into that chain. I'm going to yarn over, pull through that chain. Now I've got 3 loops on my hook. I'm going to yarn over, pull through all 3 loops to complete the half double crochet. In the next chain, I'm going to place a slip stitch. What this even moss stitch does is it alternates a slip stitch with a half double crochet all the way across the row. And we like to start and end with slip stitches for the even moss stitch. So that's why we have to have an even number of chains. So now in this very last chain, just like I said, I want to place a slip stitch in this very last chain. So insert the hook, yarn over, pull through the stitch, pull through the loop on our hook, and that completes the very first row of the even moss stitch. To start the second row of the even moss stitch, I need to begin by chaining 1 and turning. And just like I said before, we're going to start each row with a slip stitch and end each row with a slip stitch. So we're going to actually go into this very first stitch here. So we're going to go right into this space and we're going to slip stitch there. So yarn over, pull through the stitch, pull through the loop. In the next stitch, we're going to place a half double crochet. So we're going to yarn over. We're going to go into this space right here. We're going to yarn over, pull through that stitch. Now there's 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. In the next stitch, we're going to slip stitch. So insert the hook, yarn over, pull through the stitch, pull through the loop. In the next stitch, we're going to place a half double crochet. So we yarn over, go into the stitch, yarn over, pull through the stitch. Now there's 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. Slip stitch in the next stitch, half double crochet in the next, and now we're to the very last stitch of the row, so we're going to slip stitch into it. Now this one's going to look a little bit different just because that's that chain that we skipped placing a stitch in that very first chain. So we're going right here into this kind of little space right here. We just want to make sure we get those 2 legs right there of that stitch on top of our hook there, and we know we're in the right spot. Yarn over, pull through the stitch, pull through the loop. And that completes row 2. Now the remainder of the moss stitch is literally just repeating row 2. So again, we would be repeating row 2, so we'd start by chaining 1 and turning. We'd start with putting a slip stitch in the very first stitch, and then alternate it with a half double crochet stitch. And we would literally just go slip stitch, followed by a half double crochet, slip stitch, followed by a half double crochet, and then end the row. So we're going to go into this space right here, right there, and we're going to slip stitch into that space. And that's the even moss stitch in crochet. It's a pretty easy, nice kind of stitch that you don't have to think a lot about once you kind of get the hang of it. You just got to remember start and end with a slip stitch, and then alternate a slip stitch with a half double crochet across the entire row. And that's how easy this stitch is. I hope you guys found this tutorial helpful. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I hope you guys have a blessed day.